invisible mannequin and stand is up. Okay. So this is one table.
I can see her. She's outside.
Okay.
Now, I've set up everything. Before I go back into my bag each and every time, I'm going to sanitize my hands, okay? Now, you can have extra stuff in your bag, but just remember, don't have all your extra stuff in one bag because once you pull it out, it does not go back in, okay? So you can have extra clips, combs, stuff like that if you need. I'm an overpacker, so there would be a crap ton of extra stuff in there. So I'm going to go in, and then once you get your kit set up, the first thing you're going to do when you go to sign in is you're going to sign in. They're going to be checking out your clothing, and then they're going to be checking your wipes, and they're going to check your nail kit. Okay? Before you ever go in to take your test, they're going to check to make sure that your nail kit is where it should be. That way you don't waste any time. So, alright, so we're going to go into our hair tagging. So I'm going to bring out my hair tagging bag and zip it back up. I'm putting my tape back in there, that's why it's not in there. Somebody borrowed it, I'm trying to get it. So, you can just take your first towel out. And then just dump everything else out there. Dispose of my bag in my proper thing. So, now, the cape, the best thing to do is if you go ahead and you put a plastic cape on, that way you don't have to change your cape at all, okay? So you do have to have a chemical cape, which the plastic works best. The child cape does work best too, because the neck is smaller and it does hold on to the mannequin, okay? So at this time too, I'm gonna first put on my neck strip during my setup. You can tell my corset little leg strip is worn and torn. And then I'm going to put my first towel on for my chemical drape. That way it's already done when I go into my next section, okay? So that way I don't have to take anything off or put anything on. So go ahead and take a towel. You're going to wrap that around and then have an extra clip so that way you can hold that underneath towel on because you don't want it falling off because then you'll have to put another one on. And then you'll put your cape on. Okay, so then that'll be ready to go. But before I go to touch the hair and stuff, I want to just sanitize my hands. If you don't know when or how, sanitize your hands. You can't get your points taken off for being too clean. Good. Also, too, because I always forget, let me replay back. Because on your packing list, you've got paper towels listed. So you can put paper towels, you can put a small roll in there, or you can put just a small handful of them. What the paper towels are for is if you have any kind of a spill, or if you need something wiped up, or in the off chance you drop one of your towels and you need something to lay down, or you need something to replace, you can use a paper towel to fill that in, okay? So remember that just go with it thing, the paper towels is kind of that just go with it. So, because it's all about safety and infection control when you're in there. Also, too, towels. Unless you plan on opening your own spot or having your own spot and you want to buy new towels, do that. If not, go shopping in either your house or your parents' house and borrow just some hand towels, okay? For the most part, you think about how many are there. They don't have to match. The only thing is they shouldn't be raggedy and torn up and, you know, stained up. So they should be in decent shape. But they don't have to be any particular. I always keep up from too many patterns or anything like that. So, but like I said, borrow these from yourself or your parents, but remember, you're not putting any chemicals on them, so you're not ruining it. Okay? So, and then, like I said, y'all see my little generic kit. But clips, I always overpack. clips, but you would want 4 clips, but you want actually 5 to put that first towel on. And then you've got your 4. During your setup is when you'll do your wet down of your mannequin, and you'll go ahead and put it in the 4 sections. Okay? If you don't have 4 clips, that's okay. Put your 4 sections, and that 4th section will be down that you'll be cutting on. Or you can do 3. What I'm looking at for your sections and your hair cutting is that everything is under control. You have clean lines. You are parting the hair. You're using your guidelines and you're moving forward with it. So, for the first 5 minutes of the hair cutting portion, you will not use thinning shears. Oh no, they don't. I have that. So, you will have your shears. They do not get put into any other kind of case. They will go loose into your bag. Okay? I know this panics a lot of you all when you have to do that, but this is just one time. So you have your thinning shear, not your thinning shear, your regular shear, and you're going to cut the hair for 5 minutes. Okay? So for 5 minutes, it does not matter what haircut, you are not going to finish the haircut. Okay?
You have to hold the shears a certain way.
So, yeah, you should always hold your shears.
Comb, are you serious?
Yes. And then when you're combing, you should always be making sure you're combing your shears. Okay? That's the safety that they're looking for. If you're I could never flip them, so I got too used to doing it this way. But if you flip them, as long as you're combing your shears and it's going away while you're combing, that's what they're looking for, and that's the safety and infection control when it comes into it. They're looking to see that you're not cutting past that second knuckle and that you have control. So you want to do a little bit of a 0, you want to go in and demonstrate your layer, but they are not looking at your technique. They are looking at the control and that you are not going through with any hazards on yourself or your client. Okay? So you're going to cut for 5 minutes. And then we're going to tell you time's up. We will do that. So that way you can feel what 5 minutes is like. On your mannequin, today you can just barely dust it. You don't have to make a dip at all on the mannequin. But when you're at state board, how much do you have to cut off? 1 inch. And it can't be a 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. It's got to be 1 inch because they're going to look at what is on the floor, not what is watching you do it. Okay? So, you're going to cut for 5 minutes and they're going to say, okay, time's up. So you're going to stand back like this. Because remember, Simon said, you're going to wait and then we'll say you're ready to move on to the next section. These do not go back down on your station. These go into which bag?
Multi-use.
Multi-use. So, yes, like I said, you're throwing the shears away, it feels like. So you're going to just, don't throw them, but you can just lay them down in your bag. You can hold on to your comb because I haven't laid it down. I cannot lay anything back down there because my workstation. Okay? So, these are not here. So then I'm going to move into my razor. How many of you guys are comfortable with the razor?
No.
Comfortable or not?
No.
If not, this is week's project. You need to work on your razor cut. Okay? Your all's razor is different from mine. Mine's an old school one. So, but the most important, no matter which razor you take, is your blade. Does everybody see where the guard is? Guard, guard, guard. So, left-handed or right-handed, when I hold that razor towards me, that guard needs to be facing me. Okay? So, if I was to use this and I was a lefty, this would be wrong. Okay? So, another thing that they're watching is that you are combing this too. So when you're not and you're combing, that razor blade needs to be pointed away. And then when you're using it, you need to make sure that your finger's not up into the razor blade. So you can come up here, like here, there's no way I can ever put my finger in the tang. So you don't have to put your finger in the tang on a razor. You just have to have control of it. So when you're doing your 0 again, you can do your push-pull method, or you're going to do combination. Again, it's going to be 5 minutes. It's not a particular haircut. You're just taking how much off? An inch. So, and then when you come up, you can side cut your layer You could do your potato peeler, anything in that nature. So, but again, if you're not comfortable with your razor, that's something that you should put on your to-do list. If you want to practice a little bit, ask me, I can help you all. So they're actually very fun to use once you get comfortable with them. So I love cutting with the razor. I don't like the end of it. Because it shatters the ends out. Then like in a couple of days you feel like you need a haircut. So you got split ends. Okay? Any questions on any of it? No? Can I get some excitement? Some, form of life, sign of life or something going on? So, yeah. So, alright, so you should be pretty close, but go ahead and make sure your mannequin's wet down, and then make sure your stuff is out, and then we will start together. I'll do the 5-minute timing, and I'll let you know when you got 2 minutes left. Okay, so go ahead, get set up, get to your stations. Where's your station?